So my chemistry presentation focuses on how I use chemistry to help others. In this case, I'm referring to a very specific example of how I helped one of my friends using CBD oil. So to the main point, how did I help others with CBD oil? So its full name is cannabis oil. That's what CBD stands for. It comes from the hemp plant, which is a close relative to marijuana, but it doesn't contain any CHD or any psychoactive content. THC. It's very controversial because it's still in the beginning stages of development, but people take or apply cannabis oil to treat a variety of symptoms, but there's a lot of confusion about what it is and how it affects the human body, so I'm going to go fairly surface into what it is and how it helps. So it comes from the cannabis plant, but it comes from a different part than the THC, and they have no psychoactive chemicals in them, so they don't make you high the same way weed or THC would. And so I have a friend, and they suffer from a neurosensitive disease where they get stressed, and when they feel touch or anything, it comes out more intense and more painful. So because it is stress related, the CBD oil is it not only helps with decreasing the stress, which is the cause of the disease, but it also helps to decrease the actual pain that they feel from it. And because when they are touched extremely, they can suffer from seizures, it does act as an anti-epileptic, so it can help with that. However, the research and the tests aren't fully developed, and the real side effects and such are still fairly unknown. So why did this help them? So CBD stimulates the endoplasmic reticulum stress and inhibits AKT signaling, which means that it kind of slows down how the body takes in stress and helps to distribute it out more and less intensely. So it activates the autophagy and promoting apoptosis, which means it helps any cells that feel extreme stress to basically eat that part of themselves. CBD also enhances the generation of ROS, reactive oxygen species, which further enhances apoptosis and therefore helps with the decrease in stress and anxiety. So there are many studies published on CBD oils, but one that I read in particular found that CBD oil significantly reduced chronic inflammation in mice and rats. And as we know, mice and rats have similarity to humans, which is why they're used in so many tests, which means that this is why pain decreases, because it doesn't dull nerve receptors, it just reduces inflammation and helps to reduce pain in a more natural way. So because THC isn't very well researched, it can have a lot of problems, and there's a list of possible side effects that they've discovered in small percentages of studies that they've done. And these symptoms could be liver problems, symptoms related to the central nervous system such as irritability and lethargy, reduced appetite, gastrointestinal problems, infections, rashes and other sensitivity reactions, reduced urination, and breathing problems. Some of these come from the different methods of taking THC. Rashes and other sensitivity reactions would come from applying it to the skin to target certain pain areas. Breathing problems could come from inhaling it, and things like liver problems and gastrointestinal problems could come from ingesting it orally. There is also the risk that people are allergic to CBD oil, and the same thing goes for THC. Some people are allergic to certain strains of marijuana, so the same thing could happen with THC or CBD. So because this isn't something that's tested in a regular allergy test, it could be very consequential. But with all of these possible dangers come a lot of good things. So it helps to relieve pain, and it has anti-inflammatory problems. It helps with drug withdrawals. It helps treat epilepsy, and a lot of parents of children with epilepsy or seizures do use this, and it helps treat it really well. It helps with neurological symptoms and disorders, such as my friend. There are some studies that show that it's good, that it could help fight cancer, and it helps with anxiety disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder, general anxiety disorder, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, and obsessive compulsive disorder. It helps with a lot of other things, some that aren't as vital, some that aren't as important as the above, things like acne, and Alzheimer's, which is the degradation of the brain. So what is CBD from a chemical perspective? So the chemical formula is C21H30O2. It's a phytocannabinoid derived from the cannabis species. And it's devoid of psychoactive activity with analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and antineoplastic and chemopreventative activities. So that's where the cancer comes in. When you take chemo, it's basically poisoning your entire body. The CBD can help to lessen those effects. And upon administration, CBD is anti-proliferative, anti-angiogenic, and pro-apoptotic. Through various mechanisms which do not involve signaling by cannabinoid receptor 1, CB1, CB2, or valenoid receptor 1, CBD stimulates the endoplasmic reticulum and inhibits stress. So in a more kind of deeper chemistry, it is a cyclohexene, which is a substitute by a methyl group at position 1, a 2,6-dihydroxy-4-pentylphenyl group at position 3, a prop-1-ene-2-ol group at position 4, and it has a role as a plant metabolite, and it is a member of the resorcinols, an olefin compound, and a phytocannabinoid. All right, that's it.